everyone, welcome back to another Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer battle. This is going to be another Vanguard Army of Beastmen led by good old One Eye versus the Skaven this time, because I had a lot of fun against the Wood Elves, and I think the Skaven is another good choice for a Vanguard Beastmen army because the Skaven are most likely going to bring a whole bunch of low armored infantry, which all of my gore herds and gore herds with shields, which this is what this line is made of, they are pretty good at killing the lower tier Skaven infantry. Now the higher tier infantry that actually has the armor, that would be a bit of a hard thing to deal with, but there's a good chance you're not going to run into an entire front line of heavy armored Skaven troops. It's a pretty good chance you're not going to. And besides just the front line, almost everything else that the Skaven has is pretty low armored in general, so the Beastmen are pretty good in killing them. So yeah, Vanguard Army, here we go. So this is actually more of a Vanguard than the last one I did for the Beastmen, because there's only one unit that can Vanguard. That's going to be our Brave Shaman of Death with the Doom and Darkness spell and Spirit Leech on top of a Chariot. So the Chariot, pretty good against Skaven. Skaven, there's a lot of units, a lot of models that are going to have infantry size and not large size, so you can just kind of run in and out. On the Chariot, we have 80 armor on this Brave Shaman and a whole bunch of damage as well with the charge bonus. So got him on the Chariot there, and the point of the Doom and Darkness is that the Skaven leadership is not the highest in the game. So after a little bit of combat, if you hit a center of their line or any part of the line that involves like just basic clan rats, especially Skaven slaves, which there are a couple, you can usually break their morale and send them out running. So that's what that is there for. It's just to try and shatter the Skaven quicker than otherwise. So we got a bunch of Gore Herds, Kazarak, we have the Brave Shaman on the Chariot, and then for the rest of the Vanguard forces, we have 4 Centaurs, just normal Centaurs. We don't... I probably should get at least one great weapon, or like, I think it's the great weapon version, because they're pretty just good at killing anything and everything, and especially at any armored targets, which there are going to be a couple. I think technically just their leader has the high armor, because the Hell Pit has 50, but that's not that high, so, you know, actually, this is not bad. Anyway, sorry, I'm debating with myself on this replay here. So I brought 4 Centaurs, which is a unit that I usually never bring, but again, against Skaven with all of their low armored, I think the normal Centaurs are just fine enough. They are very cheap and very good for what they do. These also have a missile block chance. They have okay armor and an okay charge bonus, and also they have the Rowdy stat, which, just as a quick reminder, they are not going to lose any vigor as long as their leadership holds. So that's amazing. So they will be fighting at their full combat stats throughout the entire battle as long as the leadership never wavers. When it wavers, then the Rowdy is not going to, be doing anything. So you have 4 of them, 2 over there and 2 over here. You can see I'm just spread out in a very wide formation because I did not know if the Skaven would deploy over here, or just spread out across the entire map as well. But you can see they deployed over here, obviously. And then also to finish up this army, we have 3 Chaos Warhounds with poison, because with this Vanguard army, I don't really have much money poured into any one unit, so I had enough left over to actually, splurge a little bit on the poison variant of the Chaos Warhound. Yep, don't see these babies that often, but I had a ton of money because, listen, this is just a bunch of cheap Gores and Centaurs, so I was like, you know what? Let's get the poison version of the Chaos Puppies. I normally just get the normal version of the Chaos Puppies. These are 75 more, I think, but we got 3 of those, 2 over in the corner, 1 over there. For the Skaven army, I can't really unpause yet because things obviously are going to be getting out of hand pretty quickly. We have 2 Skaven slave slingers over here, which are not that big of a threat. We have 2 Night Runner slings, which are a little bit more of a threat over here in the front. Obviously, they were not prepared for a Vanguard army. We have 2 Rat Ogres, a whole line of Clan Rats with spears. There are 2 Skaven slaves with spears, 1 right here and 1 right there. There we go. Okay, I thought that was a Clan Rat. So Clan Rats with spears, and then these Skaven slaves with spears. I guess they were worried about my larger creatures, which is fair. There's a lot of good beasts that we could pull against the Skaven, especially just the basic Chaos Spawn can do really well against a lot of the Skaven. So they got a lot of anti-large there, including the Hell Pit Abomination, which is another anti-large armor-piercing unit for the Skaven. It's a monstrous unit. You don't see this too often, but I do like it. It has the ability, it's like a little tankier than you might imagine, because it has the too horrible to die. So when the hit points are lower than 10%, there is going to be... I don't know if it's actually... I think it's guaranteed, right? I think it's guaranteed that they... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Sorry. I thought this was a guarantee, but I don't think it is, reading this unit card. They have a chance of regaining a set of hit points. I don't know how much it is. It's not their full hit points. It's not like a Tyrion heal, which is insane. It's not even like a... Phoenix heal. I think it's a lower heal, but still, it's a heal. And I guess it's not a 100% chance, because I'm assuming the miscast chance is showing that it's a 50-50. I guess I never really looked at this. I thought it was always guaranteed that whenever they get below 10, they'll have a burst of healing real quick. But I guess it's 50-50. Okay, that may proc, and may not proc. Anyway, so that's the Hell Pit Abomination. Still very powerful against armor targets and large armor targets specifically. Armor of itself is a little low, but it has a ton of hit points to kind of make up for that, and also has regeneration too. So anyway, they have more anti-large there. And then they have 2 Poison Wind Globadiers, which are armor-piercing anti-large units as well. One here, one here. So they were clearly worried about just a massive force of, I guess, like Minotaurs and Chaos Beasts and, you know, Centaurs and Bestigors. Well, not Bestigors. Bestigors are armored, so these guys... Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Anyway, so that's their army, and then their leadership here is going to be a Warlord mounted on the Rat Ogre, which is a nice choice. I really like the Warlord mounted on the Rat Ogre. I think it's just... It looks cool, and... this Warlord has a pretty neat ability that increases their armor by like 60, I think. Also the Shield of Distraction, which is a pretty nice debuff. So -5 melee attack around them. Did they take the armor? I'm almost positive that this unit has an item you can get which gives itself like a 60 plus armor or something. I may have to look at that after the battle, but I'm pretty sure you can take an item that increases it for about like a minute, I think. Increases their armor by 60. But anyway, they have 70 armor. They hit pretty hard, though, so they're a scary unit. And then we have a Plague Priest with... it shows 2 of the breath spells there because they get 1 breath spell that they took, and then they get another breath spell from the actual chariot itself. That's why you see that twice. And then we have Wither, which is going to lower the armor of a unit for 50 seconds, which is a nice debuff. And then Vermin Tide, which is the summoning. Okay, so that was a lot of talking. Let's continue on with more talking. So we're going to charge in here very quickly. I had all my units just massed on one button that was in a locked formation. So as soon as the fight started, I just right-clicked on the enemy, and then after that right-click is over... I'm going to slow this down to kind of show you how to do this. Well, not show you, but... so you group everybody in one group. You know, control one. You lock that group. As soon as the battle starts, you got... The whole point of the Vanguard Army is to catch your enemy off guard and try to just overwhelm them before they can really get their micro down and address all of the threats. I guess I should actually pause this. Sorry, I know. So the way that you do that is if you lock this entire formation, which I did... The battle starts, you right-click on any unit, doesn't matter. When you right-click on a locked formation against an enemy unit, the entire army, you probably saw the red arrows there, they automatically are going to run towards predetermined, well, not predetermined, but determined at the moment of the right-click. So, like this dude aggroed to there, aggroed up to the Ravagers or something. You get the gist. So it gets your entire army moving, and they're not going to clump up. If you don't have them in locked formation, if I right-click on a unit, then everybody's going to move towards the unit. If you lock them, then it's going to auto-assign them a target, usually the nearest target. So, like, these 4 are probably aggroed to, like, this Skaven Slave, maybe this one Skaven Spear. But the thing is, it keeps this very wide formation somewhat still wide and intact, and it allows you time to then go in, unlock the formation, and then give and assign the independent units actual targets that you want them to do. But still, at least... With the lock formation, it gets everybody moving super quickly. It gets them still to maintain a somewhat spread out formation, and again, buys you time to then go through and individually click. Like I would click this guy, and then right click on the Skaven Slaves. I think in fact, I think this is what I did. I think I did that, and then I think I right clicked all these guys, and I think I probably held Shift and then drew them a line up to start the flank. Oh, my bad. Also, they have a play called Catapult. By the way, sorry, forgot about that. The pups are gonna go on their way to handle that. I kind of forgot that was even there. Let's continue. There we go. See, you can see the red line. So now I am assigning individual orders to these units. So I did almost exactly what I just said. But anyway, so we're reassigning the units, and you can see that the enemy is going to pull back the ranged component because, of course, they will. They don't want to sit there and get charged by a bunch of Gorhers. We're getting these Centaurs around. The big targets here are going to be the Poison Wind Globadiers there and there, but unfortunately, we can see the Rat Ogres are coming up. And I don't really want to engage in the Rat Ogres right now. I just kind of want to draw them away and open up room for our puppies to get in there into the Poison Wind Globadiers. The play called Catapult is way out here on its own, and these puppies are going to just have a field day. We got 2 more Centaurs coming in as well, and we're just going to overwhelm their back line. We're already into their front line as well. This Plague Priest is going to assist in actually routing this field, but over here, you may notice the Hell Pit Abomination charged into my Gore Herd, and instead of fighting this Hell Pit Abomination, because right now we don't want them doing that, and I've said this many times, if someone throws like a monstrous unit or a hero into your unit, just take that unit and just right-click them to where you want to be, and they will force walk themselves past that unit, and that is exactly what I did here, along with Kazrak. We're going just straight up the middle and into these Poison Wind Globadiers, because they are a bigger threat than the Hell Pit Abomination is right now, and Gore Herds are more well-equipped to kill them than they are with the Hell Pit. So that's why we're just going right at the middle, right into these Poison Wing Globadiers. This thing is dead. It's basically dead at this point. Then we got some more puppies going in after these Skaven slaves. You can see we've already routed off some of these Skaven slaves there, so we're going to open up even more. So we have like 4 gore herds over here that are just going to be kind of closing in on the right side. We still have 2 Centaurs coming in. This thing has already been shattered because it wasn't protected. And then we have some spells going down from the Plague Priest doing a lot of good damage. The breath spell is a really good counter to most everything that I brought here, so it's a very dangerous thing. Meanwhile, back here, some of our Centaurs get caught by the Rat Ogres, but the Centaurs still do a decent amount of damage. The Rat Ogre's not heavily armored, so they still will get hit pretty hard. But again, my main concern are the Poison Wind Globadiers, all the Skaven Slave Slingers. We have shut down one of the Poison Wind Globadiers, but they will come back. It's hard. So much stuff is happening. So we got the second one, Globadier, that's trying to find an exit over here. They're going to run the Clan Rats Spears and interference. There we go. So this one that Kazarak fought is going to actually route through our units. It's going to come back from routing over here, which is going to be kind of annoying. But for the initial fight, it is going pretty well. We have routed their forces, but the problem is with the Skaven is that they're going to come back. The rats always come back until you destroy the leadership and until the bar is heavily into your favor. So again, we have more routing here, more routing there, but all these rats that are routing are going to come back. Like these Skaven Slave Slingers came back. These guys aren't coming back because they're just dead. So right now, it is pretty much in disarray. Units are kind of everywhere. We have, Globadiers over here. We have Clan Rats that come back over here. We have the Skaven Slave Slingers over here with some Rat Ogres. And you can see that our Gorhers and our Centaurs have dealt a heavy blow to the Rat Ogres because, again, Rat Ogres hit heavy, but Centaurs are so cheap. The basic ones are, and they do really well against normal Rat Ogres. They just do. It's a good trade. There goes another wind spell from the Plague Priest, who we have now surrounded by Centaurs and some Gorhers. We're still trying to deal with the second Poison Wind Globadier with some puppies, and the Centaurs got caught by these Skaven slaves, or Clan Rats of Spear, sorry. Kazarak, as you can see here, he was actually doing the Helping Abomination for a while because he has a lot of damage potential. Then the Warlord came over here and just smacked him in the face. Like, the Warlord just totally murdered me. So I'm like, oh my god, I need to get Kazarak out of here. So we're trying to go over here, and I'm going to try and get him on the Plague Priest, I believe is where I'm heading. And we're trying to stop the Warlord with our Centaurs. We're going to surround this Helping Abomination with these double Centaurs. And it's a lot of microing right now. We got puppies going over here to try and re-kill these Skaven Slave Slingers. These Rat Ogres were routed by this Gore Herd right here. I believe they may come back again. But we've done so much damage to those. These Poison Wind Globadiers, the enemy is now microing them back in the battle. They're starting to throw into the Gore Herd or Centaurs, I can't remember which. And for my forces, we still have, I believe, all 4 Centaurs, though some are heavily damaged. And then I think we have 2 of the 3 puppies. No, we still have all 3 puppies. And they're all heavily damaged as well. But hey, they're all online. Yeah, Kazarak, look at this. Oh, another hit from the Warlord. It's just smacking Kazarak. Like, I knew he was going to be a tough combatant, but I've never actually done Kazarak versus the Warlord before, and holy shit, Kazarak just gets destroyed. I was like, oh god, okay. So Kazarak is going to rout, but he will come back from routing. He's not out of this battle quite yet. We still do have a Brave Shaman, who I'm trying to actively micro, not just their spells, but also themselves, because in a chariot, it is very important that you do not stop. You just got to keep going, keep going. So what I'm doing is, I believe I'm giving like attack orders or move order, go and micro something else, then come back to the Brave Shaman like a few seconds later, and just make sure that he is not stopping. Because if you stop as on a chariot, especially in the middle of infantry, you're probably going to die. You need to keep them going. So here we go. So I gave him a move order to go over here, and then I noticed that these guys are back up, so we're going to try and collapse it on them. So we're going to send the Brave Shaman to death and these 2 Gore Herds. Meanwhile, in the back, our Gore Horde did get destroyed by the Rat Ogres and the Clan Rats, or I'm sorry, Skaven Slaves. And then, I'm sorry, that's the Centaurs. So Gore Horde pull back. My bad. So there's a lot going on. So the Centaur herd gets routed off by the Rat Ogres and these units. So this kind of frees up the Skaven Slave Slingers. But again, they're not the biggest threat. More of a threat would be these guys, the Nightrunner Slingers as well. Alright, so we're doing a lot of good damage to the Plague Priest, who's been just summoning a whole bunch of rats throughout the entire battle, who's been casting a lot of good breath weapons, doing a lot of good damage. Kazarak, I'm trying to get back over here into the fight to try and finish him off, and I'm trying to block the Warlord, who's taking a lot of damage as well. I'm trying to block him with the Centaurs here. I'm going to run them into his face, because I know I need to save Kazarak, but I want to kill this Plague Priest. And unfortunately, my Centaurs are going to rout. So that sucks, because they're running blockers, so I'm also throwing in a Gore Herd on this Warlord, because I just need to keep him separated. And right here, I'm actually overcasting Doom of Darkness for the 2nd time, because I want to try and shatter the Plague Priest. I didn't have confidence that Kazarak was going to stay in the fight long enough, so I'm trying to make sure that the leadership is going to rout here. And as soon as I cast that, it's pretty expensive. I think it's 15 Winds of Magic to overcast it so you get the AoE Doom and Darkness. Kazarak gets a hit in and kills him. That was the only purpose of me casting an Overcast Doom of Darkness. Like, I didn't care about these clan rats. I think they may route because of Doom of Darkness, but nothing else around was low enough in the morale bar to get affected by Doom of Darkness, really, except for the Plague Priest. And I thought Kazrak was going to route, and so I was like, I need to get rid of this Plague Priest. So I cast that, and it's honest, it was just a waste of Winds of Magic. But hey, the Plague Priest is now dead. Kazrak is still alive, and unfortunately, my forces are routing because they have been terrified by this Rat Ogre. And so the Warlord is going to get back in on Kazrak, get another good hit, another good swipe, and now Kazrak is going to rout. And I think he comes back, but then he shatters immediately. He does one of those things where he comes back and you're like, oh, my leadership, oh, and then like they immediately shatter for some reason. So that is what he's going to do. He's going to be running off over here, and he's going to be like, hey guys, I'm really out this time. So I'll try and keep the camera so you can see that happening. Meanwhile, we're still just trying to micromanage everything. We have units. We have, the clan rats coming back, backed up by a little bit of the Poison Globadiers. These Poison Globadiers are back again for like a third time. Help and Abomination still has a decent amount of hit points left and is a very scary threat on the battlefield. Warlord still has a decent amount of hit points. Skaven Slaves, whatever. But we are routing off the Rat Ogres. Luckily, their main pocket of resistance is going to be here with the clan rats and spears. But again, the Warlord is up. The Help and Abomination is up. I do luckily have my Brace Shaman still, and I believe I'm casting a Spirit Leech. Or I did. I think I've cast at least 1 or 2 Spirit Leeches on the Warlord at this point in the battle, but I still do have some Winds of Magic left. And so we're just trying to keep these units pinned. I'm trying to get our Centaurs, you see here, maneuvering around the spears and into the Poison Wind Globadiers, because again, I need those gone. So the clan rats do respawn pretty quickly, but luckily we're actually going to shatter right before both of our Centaurs are going to rout. So that's, whoo, perfect. And there we go. So Kazrak did the whole like, yeah, and he's gone. For good this time. And now we're going to kind of just like line up for a second fight, because most of my forces were already on this side, most of their forces are on this side, and they've routed everything that was fighting them there. I've routed everything I was fighting over here. These guys are finally shattered. The other Globadier are finally shattered. So now we still have a bunch of Gore Herds. We have the Brace Shaman. We have some Centaurs, but they are on the edge of death. Like, look at their morale. It's bad because we have the leadership penalty because Kazrak is now routed off the field permanently. So what I need to do now is route their leadership. We've already killed the Plague Priest. You can see the balance of power is kind of in my favor, but with the Help and Abomination and the Warlord still in effect, like like my Centaurs are on the edge of routing. My Gore Herds is so bad and beaten. I need to take out the leadership, so we're going to get up here and cast a Spirit Leech on the Warlord who has 885 hit points. And this hurts. At this point in the battle, especially as a Skaven, you need your leadership alive, and this sucks. This sucks so much that at the end of a fight, the enemy has enough for another Spirit Leech on your already very wounded Warlord. Hey, I feel your pain, buddy. I had to do it because it's my only way to potentially win this game is by routing your leader off the battle. So we're going to run up there and cast a cheeky Spirit Leech, and that actually is going to rout him. He has time to come back, but the edge of the map is right here, so he's actually going to shatter off. And as soon as he shatters off the battlefield, you're going to notice that the morale is going to take a hit for the Skaven army because the leadership is now gone. They have no more, and this is the time. So now we're mounting up to launch an attack. So there we go. The morale is taking its hit across the board. You can see there, they are now shaken, so we're going to run the Brace Shaman in there. I see that the enemy is now aggroing everybody on the Brace Shaman, so I'm like, okay, this is perfect. So we're going to lead them. We're going to be like, doo-doo-doo, follow me, rats. And so what they're doing is they are trying to center around the Brace Shaman, which means they're just in this very tight ball, which is so much easier for my Gore Herds to surround. So we get a flanking bonus, we get the rear charge bonus, and we are just trying to break their leadership at this point. Get the Brace Shaman back in here now that the Gore Herds are now mixed in there. And you can see that we're going to rout off all 3 of these Clan Rat Spears, so leaving only the Help and Abomination, and now the Balance of Power is in my favor. But that was so close. If I did not get the Warlord, their leadership may have held long enough to break mine, especially with the Help and Abomination and Warlord in the fight. But at this point, it's kind of only a matter of time. Since we still have the Brace Shaman out and alive, he is fine. And there we go. I think he just got hit with the army losses. So there it is. So you can see at the top, army losses due to the balance of power, minus 120. So the only thing that survives that is an unbreakable unit. And that is going to bring an end to this fight with the Beastmen versus Skaven. That was a good fight. That was a really good fight. Because, like, at the beginning, you're like, oh, God, the Skaven are destroyed. Like, they just get utterly overwhelmed by literally every side. You have rats running everywhere, and you're like, oh, this is like the easiest GG ever. But then it's just like, wait a minute. Like, the middle of the fight happens, you're like, hold on. Like, the Skaven keep coming back. Like, oh, okay, some of my units are routing. Okay, Centaurs are dying. Oh, shit, Kazrak's, basically dead. And so, like, because I remember fighting this battle. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, easiest victory of my life. And then like 2 minutes later, I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. And I'm just like, microing is intensifying. Because you can notice there, my micro was kind of lackluster towards, I don't know, like the 2-minute mark. I just had Gore Herds standing around doing nothing. Because I'm like, I was already in like, okay, let's just clean this up, boys. And then it was, hey, listen. You shouldn't do that. You should always respect your opponent to the very end, and I didn't, so I lacked in micro, and then I was like, oh god, this is actually kind of getting away from me. And then they took out my leadership with the Warlord, which, god, the Warlord just smacked Kazrak so quickly and easily, it was disgusting. And yeah, that was a real nail biter. Do people even say nail biter? I don't say nail biter, but anyway, let's use that term right now. Nail biter is what that was. That could have went either way if I did not have enough wins of magic for that Spirit Leech on the Warlord. That snipe with the Spirit Leech was, I think, really the thing that saved the win for me. Because that just shook all their morale with the Warlord leaving. That was, whew. Anyway, it was a good game. So good game to Baron von Untzu. And let me just double check on the item for that Warlord. I'm pretty sure he gets one. Where's the Skaven? Where's my boys? There we go. Yeah, so yeah, it is a minute, which you get plus 60 armor. And it's only, how much was that? 75. That's not bad. Plus 60 armor on a unit that only has 70 armor, so that gets you up to 130. That's a big difference. That's going from medium armor to like, holy crap, this is a tanky unit. I'm not sure why they didn't bring this. It's not that expensive, and I think it's well worth it, especially against the Beastmen. Because the Beastmen have a lot of, like, non-armor piercing units. I mean, they do still have a lot of armor piercing units with the Minotaurs, some of the Centaurs, and the Bestigors, but I think this is a worthwhile investment. A whole minute of plus 60 armor, that's kind of no joke. But anyway, they only brought this one, which is still good. I would suggest you bring both. That's my suggestion. Anyway, let's go watch a cinematic view of the battle. I do enjoy me some Beastman Vanguard play here. You just don't really see Vanguard only armies that much. At least I don't. And the Beastmen are a perfect race to do it. Because they have enough tools that have Vanguard deployment to make this viable. Technically, you can do it with Dwarves as well, which I've already done with the whole Miners, frontline, like Rangers. They can do it to be, you know, funny. It can actually be very effective, though. But the Beastmen are definitely more preferable for this type of stuff. Oh, the rear charge. That just like instantly crushes those poor rats. And then over here we got rats being munched on by pups. Poisoned pups. Because again, we splurged a little bit on them. Yeah, we got some poison pups with some Centaurs trying to weaken the rat ogres over here. Because they are a big threat. Turn them down! Gore herds into rat ogres is a preferred way for this to go for us. Especially with the puppies in there. That Warlord gets on Kazrak and oh god. Kazrak just gets smacked. Oh, poor Kazrak. He honestly doesn't do much in this fight. damn poison when Globadiers fall. I think that was probably a Spirit Leech. Oh, and I guess I pulled them off for the last second. What are they fighting? Oh, clan rats. Anyway, we got this routing. Get him! Oh, here's Plague Priest. I was I was looking for them. Found you. That must mean Kazrak. Yep, there he is. Oh, there he is. He's coming back. He's coming back, friends. He's coming back. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's like, all right, here we go, here we go, here we go. Never mind. And he's gone. But he thought about it, though. It's pretty close. He thinks he did enough in this fight. He's gonna go home and eat some pie or something. And then here comes some BS. But hey, we got a caster left. They don't. So listen. The advantage of putting a Brave Shaman on a more mobile chariot instead of just having him walk around is we can do something like this and get away with it. It was a drive-by spirit leeching. And go. And that warlord is now very upset. My Brave Shaman, you can hear him off in the distance. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, throw your little pebbles, rats. And then the warlord decides he too has had enough and is going home to eat some pie. Oh, jeez. Hey, what up, man? This thing is so angry. And there we go. So thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time.